Apple has officially killed all of the Plus models of iPhones on their website, so you're not able to get them anymore as brand new products from Apple Store. What's going on with this? Why didn't they bring iPhone SE Plus? Let's talk about that in this video. They are still keeping two options for the people out there, for one smaller and one bigger option for iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max. I mean, that's okay, but if you think about it, the first time the iPhone had a Plus model, like a plus size, was the iPhone 6. It was like the first iPhone to ever bring that, and back then the only reason to get this bigger version was just because it's bigger. The Plus only meant an increase in the size, and they obviously switched from Plus, or calling the bigger option Plus, to calling it Max, which in my opinion, I mean, this is just my thought, disagree with if you want, but if you do, just let me know what you think about it in the comments. But what I'm trying to say is that whenever you see Plus, it means addition, and people would expect that you not only get a bigger size, but also some additional features. And even though it wasn't really the case with the iPhone 6 Plus and 6s Plus, because there you only had a bigger size, no big deal at all. But with the release of the iPhone 7, what they brought was they actually added another lens of the camera, so the Plus really meant something. Like, if you think about it, what is the difference between the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus? Of course, not looking at the size and the battery, this is kind of obvious, but what is really the difference? And most of you would probably say that the number one thing that you see or notice is the addition of one camera. Why Apple didn't release the actual iPhone SE Plus? And because the only difference, the only noticeable difference, was the addition of second lens, which was able to create portrait photos, and because Apple had already implemented this to the iPhone SE second generation, which meant that you can even do that with one lens, they didn't really have to actually separate it. They changed the Plus in their names of bigger iPhones to Max, because that, in my opinion at least, represents that the phone is bigger, like Max. This is like the maximum size they can get, but it's not Plus because it doesn't give you anything which you don't get on the smaller option. Let's say there is only the iPhone 8 as the latest device and the 8 Plus alongside it, and if you would like to get the portrait mode and still get the smaller iPhone, it would just give you different feelings about it. You wouldn't know what to go for. On the one hand, you want the portrait mode, and on the other, you want that smaller size. The 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max aren't really that different. Only when it comes to the size, that was like the point, but also in the battery, because it comes alongside it. But no additional features are there or have been brought to it. That's why it's only called Max, because it's bigger. Like, I'm repeating myself, but I'm trying to make a point here. And one of the reasons perhaps why they didn't bring the SE Plus is because they were trying to ditch the name completely, so only continuing this trend wouldn't really make a lot of sense. There's one option. Of course, nobody is going to ever be able to tell you what is right and what is wrong. We don't know. These are all assumptions that we have, but they really talk about something. But is the iPhone SE second generation Plus model gonna be ever released? It's possible. Like, there are some rumors out there talking about and claiming that they know that the SE Plus is just about to be released. But it's probably not the case, and let me tell you why I think that. And it's just not me. There are plenty of people out there which are experienced and have the same opinion. So, you know, when Apple actually releases new iPhones, every time in September they hold their event and release a new iPhone, and it's like used to, for people are used to this schedule. So, you know, every time in September there's going to be the main brand new iPhone everybody gets excited about, which will cost $1,000 and all of that. But in the middle of year, in March, or somewhere between these two phones and these two main releases, somewhere in the middle, Apple sometimes releases another product. People or analytics say that they want to spike up their numbers again of the sales. Maybe right, but they do this in order to like make sure that people don't confuse it with the classic and the latest iPhone, which is like the top notch and latest and greatest. And if Apple is actually going to release the SE2, it would mean that it would have to happen at the WWDC 2020, for example, which is in June, and that would confuse many people. Like, would you think that it's the latest iPhone already? It's like the big, huge iPhone? What's going on really with this? Many people would feel this way, and that's why it's highly unlikely that Apple will, in like a month, bring the SE Plus. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is to get my thoughts to as many people out there as possible. And if you want to help me along the way, what you can do is to click on the like, so you can actually support the video and make it go higher in YouTube algorithm. And what you can also do is to subscribe so you don't miss future content which would be interesting for you to watch. You can also follow me on Instagram. So this is pretty much everything what I wanted to say in this video. If you enjoyed it, found it helpful, like I said, do all the things I told you, and thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and see you guys later in the next video. Peace out.